It's getting kind of hot for certain hip hop artists that like to say some stuff. So the thing about it is, the Queen with the Gold Mic is not here, unfortunately. We have Brandon X Bell. Unfortunately, he was called away on business, but Chill is coming. Kevin MC Chill Hurd is coming. The Human T-Rex is back on the ones and twos after he was playing chauffeur to a whole bunch of people last week at the Mary J concert.
Well, don't be telling my business. See, that's your problem is. When I tell you off air, don't be telling my business on here. You cool though.
So, but the thing about it is, whoever went to the Mary J. Blige concert, I hope y'all had a good time, especially the women with the high heels. That hurts, things about that nature. I understand.
Have you tried it?
What?
Walking in high heels?
No. Shayla Jackson is here on the ones and twos. I am not going to do that. I've seen the women take them off in the club. I was a club promoter for once upon a time, and I understand they take them off, put them on them slippery sandals, and hopefully nobody spill any drinks in the club before that happens. So that's cool. That's cool. So I'm going to say something, and before I say anything about a certain hip hop artist, and I try to keep his name anywhere near me because it brings bad juju. I'm not trying to lose this show. Mr. Whatever the hell he's calling himself right about now. I think he's massaging a lasagna while he's thinking about joining ISIS next week. So before that, early voting has already started for the election, November 8th. We got the governor race in Ohio. We got some other things going on. We got the thing, and not only just here in Ohio, but all across the country, midterm elections, pretty much. So, by the way, the race between Congressman Tim Ryan and J.D. Vance is heating up. Is actually at a dead heat. The Cuyahoga County executive position with Lee Weigart and Chris Ronay is heating up, and also the governor's race between Mike DeWine and Nan Whaley is coming up. Shayla.
Yes.
Before we get into, you mentioned something on the way over here about DeWine.
Mm-hmm. Wine, Fitch.
What does that mean to the people that don't understand?
Okay, well, they are men, and I would like to let everybody know to forgive my language before I say it. But they have penises. They can't have children. So for them to want to pretty much abolish abortion is, to me, that's wrong. Because a woman has a right to whatever she wants to do with her body.
Right.
And they have the fun out of it. We got all the fun and the pain. So.
Some fun for y'all.
Oh, yes, that is the truth. It's what it is. How is a man going to tell a woman what to do with their body?
Right.
And especially that little 10-year-old girl that got raped. Now you saying that rape victims and people of incest, if they get pregnant, they can't have an abortion and have shame? I'm just saying. What do you think?
I mean, the thing about it is, like, as a man, I'm not trying to tell any woman what to do with their body at all. Especially, but the thing is that, that's why we vote, period. Because the simple fact of the matter is that we have to realize one thing. One thing's for sure and two things for certain. If we don't control if we don't control the vote on our own destiny, somebody else will. Somebody else will vote for you in your place and vote differently. Because we already know that there's people out there that believe in no abortions, no matter what the circumstance.
But I'm going to give it to you like this. I don't believe in abortions myself. But my thing is I feel that people had a right to do what they want to do with their body. Because if that was the case, love my babies, they wouldn't be here.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So
yeah, I understand that. Here's the thing, but it's always everybody wants to have this morals clause, but don't want to do anything. Let's be honest. When the child is here, then the health care is cut off, the other things are cut off, things of that nature. Yeah. But when the child, everybody is pro-life until the life gets here.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. Now, if you like, the thing about it is like if you had services for the child for low income families and stuff like that, and you pro life and everything is available to the child when the child gets here and available to stuff not only to the child but the mother as far as support, as far as especially underage things of that nature, then I can understand. But you can actually, and you actually need to know that when you're here, that you're taken care of.
Exactly. So you should not be able to tell a woman what she can and can't do if she can't provide for that child.
Mm-hmm. And the thing about it is that, you know, we already know what the state of it is. So we need to go ahead and go VOTE. That means vote. That means get out, get like the same line that you stood in for that Mary J. Blige concert.
Yup.
Is the same line you can go into to vote. So if you stood in a long line for them tickets, I know they are like, I seen the outfits Mary J. Blige wore. So they was high class. So, and they high end. And if you know you paid some money for them tickets, especially the married men out there, shout out to y'all for going with y'all women to the Mary J. Blige concert. Because every time she was talking because Mary got some songs about some men, it was messed in, and stuff was messed up. She's probably looking at you like, remember the time when you left the toilet seat up and something you did and you came out like,
I fell in.
yeah, right. That nature.
Right.
So I got to give a couple of shout outs, Lisa Lee Nelson, and shout out to Natalie Fittens. Natalie's been sick for a while. Hey, Nat, I'm glad that you're here, and my guest is also here. So we're going to talk, before we talk about Kanye, Ye West, Balacinia, whatever, you know, those things, the Adidas stuff.
Adidas dropped him like a bad habit, baby.
The shoe dropped you, and not only dropped him, but stole his designs. So he ain't got no designs no more. So I don't know how he gonna get them blueprints because of the. Yeah, we're going to talk to a legend in the building. Legend. And the thing about it is, when you have somebody that's a legend, you treat them with the utmost respect. And the thing is that we want to treat them with the utmost respect because he's right in front of us right now. So, T-Rex, you got his song up, ready, queued up.
I only got one song.
You got more than one, but there's one song that I actually like.
The rest of
No. The rest aren't. But what my favorites, I always got a favorite Pac song, I got a favorite Biggie song, and I got a favorite song of you.
Okay.
So that's the one song I have. So, and this is one of my favorite. You know what it. So if you're hearing the MC story, we got the man that made the MC story. And the thing about it is that the man in front of you is the man with the lyrical, kingly verses of this song. Please welcome the president of the Greater Cleveland Association of Black Journalists, who's going to lead us into the convention here in Cleveland in 2025. Please welcome none other than Kevin MC Chill Hurd in the building.
Hey, Junior, what's happening, King?
You're the only one can call me that.
Talk to me.
Talk to me. First of all, before we get into anything, you took a trip to the motherland. Everybody know that Egypt's in Africa. How was Egypt, man?
Oh, my God. Well, first of all, Larry, I don't want to take you off course, but I do want to say your choice of my songs to be your favorite song, I can respect that because MC Story is probably my favorite song of all my songs that I did. So respect on that.
Thank
Put
you.
some respect on my name.
Exactly. I got to put some respect in your name. If it wasn't for you, it'd be no me, for real. I'm going to be honest with you. If you know, chill talk, things of that nature, what you've been doing, the interviews, I actually, be honest, I love the interview you did with Halle Berry.
Okay. Well, you know that's my chick, that's my homie.
Yeah.
But
and you done several.
HB.
But yeah, you done several with a Halle Berry's your homie. So I'm like, could you please give her my number? But I'm asking for a friend, mainly my twin Barry Gardner. But I'll leave that alone. But
See
again,
what we can do.
All right.
See what you can do. You know, just because you the Fresh Prince of Lee and Harvey.
Thank you very much. And the reason he calls me that, Chills knows my father. Shout out to my dad, Larry H. Gardner Sr., who is listening. He was back home in Cleveland. So let's go. But Egypt, how was it, man?
Oh my God, man, Larry. Egypt was, it's hard to really describe it, to put it into words. You've seen it in books and photos and movies, but when you really are there, you can touch the stone, put your hands on the walls, climb up on the pyramid, look the Sphinx in the face. Man, it's a whole different thing, bro. And most people that know me know that I really get down with ancient Egypt, ancient Kemet, and to actually be there, to walk in the sand, to sail the Nile, to put your hands in the river, man.
What does that feel like?
It is hard to explain. It's like a validation of everything that you've read about, that you've seen, that you've heard about. It's hard. It's really, as a person who has spent almost all of my adult life and pre-adult life expressing myself and putting it into words, whether verbally or written. It's hard to really explain. My boy, brother Reggie Mabry, who's famous on them YouTube streets, who's been over to Egypt millions of times with the masters, with John Henry Clark, Dr. Ben Yakinen, Dr. Leonard Jeffries. He told me, he said, "Congratulations, Chill, you part of the Bentu tribe." I said, "What's the Bentu tribe?" He said, "The brothers that actually been to Egypt."
Woo!
And not just talking about it.
Thank you. Be Cool Kaza said, "What's up?" Natalie Fitton said, "What's up?" Ramina Foster said, "What's up?" Chill. You said the Bentu tribe. So you was over there with a couple of, I saw you one picture with Bashir Jones. And of course, I know your wife went with you.
Yeah, it was probably about 25 of us all together. And this was something that my brother Bashir put together, because he went to Egypt and he came back and said, "Man, that's something I got to share with other people." And oddly enough, I was at the Cleveland Museum of Art where I do tours of the Egyptian Gallery, independent tours. I don't want no big problems from the Museum of Art.
Right.
To say independent tours. But shout outs to the Cleveland Museum of Art. But I was there and I was talking to my sister Leola Daniels from Destination Cleveland. And
Right.
we were talking about trying to see if we could get a national convention for the Black Journalists Association here in Cleveland. That was meeting number 1, Larry. That's where it all originated from. And in that process, she started talking about how she really loved stuff about ancient Egypt. And I told her I did a tour of the gallery, which was right across from us as we were already sitting there.
Right.
And so I said, "Well, let me give you a quick tour right now." And I took her on the tour, so she was like, "Chill, I got to get you to Egypt. I'm going to make it. I'm going to will it to happen," just like she willed it to happen for us to get that event in 2025. Then she called me and said, "Chill, Bashir is taking a group over there. You need to call him. Call his sister, Nikisha Johnson, who's a travel agent." And I called her. We started setting it up, and I talked to Bashir, and he was glad to have me on board. And man, it was, and and to be there with my people, it was nuts, man. It was
Right.
incredible.
If the thing about it is, should every African American person in America take a visit? Because Egypt is in Africa. It's not its own continent. So should every African American person take one trip before they kick the bucket? Should that be on a bucket list?
Yeah, that's on my bucket list.
That's a for sure bucket list, and I'll tell you this, because I've heard all of this stuff about where Egypt is, and it's in this made-up place called the Middle East, and I don't know where that's at, but where I landed at, Larry, I landed in Africa. I landed on the continent. So I landed in Cairo, and I looked on the map, and it was Africa all day long. So the answer to your question is, I think, just to explore the greatness on so many levels of African achievement, of engineering, of science, of medicine, of the birthplace of writing. Man, and I'm saying, and it's writing that not that you heard about as a myth, it's still there.
It's here. It ain't going nowhere.
It's still there. It's
Mm-hmm.
written in stone, like Earth, Wind, and Fire say it's written in stone. And you can touch the stone.
Exactly.
You can see the word.
Right.
And it's so I think that it should be and not to downplay the rest of the continent. The continent is the birthplace of human beings.
Right.
We all come from that continent. But as far as the flower of the continent, the highest form of civilization that the world has ever seen, continuous for over 3,000 consecutive years. No civilization has ever maintained a consecutive status for over 3,000 years. The United States of America started technically what?
250 years ago.
Yeah,
1770, whatever the hell it was.
75.
That's not even 250 years ago. You know
Hold
what I'm
on,
saying?
hold on.
Exactly.
Yeah, 247.
247.
Believe it or not, 245.
247. All right, so you're talking about 3,000 consecutive years. We're not even talking about pre-dynastic Egypt, the
Right.
Naqada. But yeah, no, bruh. Yeah, so the answer to your question, to make a short story long, yes, everybody should go.
So, what was your favorite place on to Egypt visiting?
I had two. Now, of course, the headline, you got to go see the pyramid.
Right,
The
of
pyramids,
course.
Everybody want to see those.
And when you talk about the pyramids, you really are, most people are talking about one, the Great Pyramid at Giza, which is, one of the most phenomenal buildings, and you never could understand the
Are
actual
you able to touch
size
those
of it.
buildings when you in there?
Touch it, I climbed on it. I took the Lee Harvard pose.
I think I saw one of your pictures when
I
you
had
did.
to lean back with the leg
Right.
up on the rock.
Oh,
with the leg, man, please. Hands on chin, arms crossed. I had the Lee Harvard pose. On the
Right,
pyramid.
right. So the next thing is, I know there might be a documentary or something coming out of this. Did you have enough time to record, or you just was looking at everything else?
Man, let me tell you, I recorded everything. I took pictures, I took video footage. At the end of every day, I was prepared for that. So at the end of every day, I downloaded all of my footage to a external hard drive. I came with a 4 terabyte external hard drive. So I have thousands of pictures and images. But real quick, I never did. The Great Pyramid is the number one stunner. But my two favorite locations were, how we doing on time, bro?
We
You
good.
good? My two favorite locations was the Step Pyramid, which is the first and oldest of the pyramids,
Really?
built by the African genius Imhotep, who's like the father of architecture, the father of medicine, the father of science. He was a multidisciplinarian. That was one. And the second was not even on our agenda, wasn't on our itinerary. Went to the island of Elephantine in Aswan, down in the most southern part of Egypt, right before you cross into what they will call Nubia, the Sudan. It is an island of, for lack of a better word, blackety black people. All over Egypt, different people look different. It's a metropolitan, especially when you're near Cairo, and you have a influx of different looking people. They all brown.
Yeah.
But you got light brown, kind of light brown,
Well,
light
that's
skin
what's
brown,
beautiful about
a little
us.
dark brown. But when you get down to southern Egypt, which by the way is called Upper Egypt, the south, because the Nile does this strange thing, it flows from south to north.
Uh-huh.
So southern Egypt is actually Upper Egypt. And those people on that island looked like they was from Lee and Harvard, man. They're like people I saw walking up and down the street every day. And they were like family. They treated me. Man, Bashir was like the king of the island. They loved him. Obviously, he had been there before.
Right.
But yeah, man, it was an experience just to build with the people. I got a chance to walk around that island almost alone to see architecture, ancient artifacts just laying around unprotected. I mean, I could have picked up a 3,000-year-old artifact and brought it here and be put on the table like bam. But it was the love. They was like, go ahead, chill, you're a brother. Walk around, look and see what you see. And man, the Elephantine Island was a different experience because it was a more of a brotherhood, a family, non-commercial atmosphere. So yeah, that was special to me.
Is Cairo populated like New York City? Is it you that vibe?
Man, Cairo is one of the most densely populated areas in the world, on the planet. Except it's hot. It's like 107 degrees.
It's hot.
It's hot. It's
And I was
like
there in October, and it was 107 degrees.
so. Imagine going in the summertime. I don't think.
You can miss me on that.
Got
one. You can
Right.
miss me on
I
that
just
one.
moved back from Florida, so
all
I
right,
ain't that type of hot.
right, no.
One more thing on the mask. How was the COVID? Like, do you have to wear masks anywhere over there?
You did not have to wear a mask. Now, myself, I was masked up when we were in like tight places where it was just like a lot of people. But for the most part, it's not mandated that you have to wear a mask. But Cairo was special, man. It's busy, and I'm telling you, they got the most aggressive hustle. They'll spend a half an hour and walk a mile next to you trying to sell you something for $1.
Jesus.
Well, that's because our money is worth.
Right.
And now,
It's 19.5%. So basically, our dollar is
21?
worth $20.
Oh.
So if
Wow.
you mess around and get them $20 for something, they're going like to buy a couch.
did you just give it to him anyway? You
Not
made him
$20.
walk?
Not $20. No. But I had some Egyptian pounds. I changed some of my money to Egyptian pounds, and some of that money I didn't even spend. I just kept it and brought it back to keep as souvenirs. But for the most part, for $1, man, you can make it happen over there for $1, and they go charge you. Like, okay, let me tell you, you go to the bathroom. There ain't no toilet paper in there. Ain't no toilet paper.
So they gonna charge you.
But guess what? It's gonna be a dude standing there with some toilet paper talking about $1, my brother. So they're gonna get you for $1, man.
Interesting.
That is but that's the hustle over there. So the thing about it is that you went there, you brought did you bring your children with you?
No, my daughter is hot behind that one.
Ooh, no, she is.
Yeah, my daughter, my daughter Jordan, Naira, Patrice Hurd. But yeah, she because she always, for the most part, was my assistant on the tours that I do at the museum in the Egyptian gallery. So she knows a lot about ancient Egypt, a lot of the terms, and even a lot of the languages, the Medu Neter. And from seeing me doing translations at the museum, she's even picked up some of the basic forms of reading the what they call hieroglyphics, actually the Medu Neter. But yeah, so she didn't go, but here's the thing, Larry. We in talks right now about me taking my own group back in October. So in about 2
And you
weeks.
better take her this time.
Two in
So in
about.
about 2 weeks, I'm going to know for sure. I'll make an announcement on what actually I'm going to do and how it's going to break down. But I'm thinking that I'm going to take a group over there
So the thing of next year,
next year. Yeah, well, this is October
right
now.
now, October right now. So
Give
yeah,
everybody-
get their
dough.
passport and dough up. How much dough do you need to be over
Man,
there?
Get your passport. Hey, let me tell you something. Everybody, because you never know when you gotta roll out to another country, and you're gonna need a passport. I need to tell everybody we're meant to be world citizens. Well, Dr. Funkenstein told me I was a citizen of the universe, but you can't be a citizen of the world and you don't have a passport. So start applying for that right now. It's not that much money. So you asked me how much to be in Egypt. It depends on what type of structure. We had a nice deal, man. We had most of the time it was breakfast and dinner was a what's the food everywhere.
Buffet,
There you go.
buffet, a la carte, whatever.
All of that, and it was freaking delicious. But yeah, so most of the time our meals were free for breakfast and dinner. Lunch, we were normally always out. So, we had to, and you got to watch what you eat too. And, I tell anybody going over to Egypt, number one rule, do not drink the water.
Really?
Do not drink the water. You're going to have a problem.
No.
You're gonna be
All right.
Hey, we going to be going off to the... Exactly.
The toilet, yeah, right.
Hey, we gonna be off to the pyramid, and you gonna be in your room in the bathroom. But y'all leave without me. I'll be on the next. I see the Sphinx tomorrow.
So, sorry.
It's pretty. I mean, it's not a lot. Once you pay that fee, and for it's less than if you were going to like Bermuda or Jamaica or something like that. It's equivalent. So if you can spend the money to to stay up under those palm trees, they got those palm trees in Egypt. But yeah, it's not that expensive. And like I said, the money there, your money goes a long. You can buy a lot with like $20-$50. You can ball out because, like I said, it's that 20-to-1 ratio. So
You ever thought about what about you like? And I know some people have been moving other places. Have you thought about leaving the States and going to Egypt and getting property there?
I do know that a lot of brothers are looking at property in Egypt. It's different rules and regulations because it is an Arab republic. Actually, technically, the name of Egypt is the Arab Republic of Egypt. So you gotta, it's strict rules. Every male child has to serve, I believe it is 2 or 3 years in the military after they graduate from high school.
Wow.
And you see military everywhere. I'm talking about on the
that
streets with
mandatory?
machine guns.
He said mandatory.
Mandatory. You could, if you go to college, you can break it down for 1 year. It's a couple of extra things you can do to shorten your time, but I believe that is
They gotta do it.
They have to do it. You have to serve in the military, and you see them everywhere. And you cannot take photos anywhere you see pictures with military, and they have machine guns and stuff. You cannot take, and because let me tell you something, you get your bus pulled over, and you don't want that.
Right, you don't want to. You don't. Right. They'll
take your phone and then delete it. They know how to work them phones too. Hey, because like you can't take a selfie in Cairo. Because it'll be a brother to my brother, we the same color, brother from another mother. I take photo for you. Man, they'll take your photo, switch it back around off a selfie, have you in poses, popped off about 10 photos of you. They'll put some stuff around your head and on your wrist and in your hand. And then they'd be like, $5, my brother. So, yeah.
another hustle.
Man, the camera, man. Hey, let me tell you, dude fixed my hat. He said, "Oh no, I like the because I went on YouTube and figured out like 5 ways to tie my shemagh. How to
Right.
Dude was like, "No, you want Bedouin style." Boom, boom. Man, he done tied my head. Put the cool thing on it. Done put a OG Moses staff.
Put the stank on it.
But at the same time, you put a Moses staff in my hand. Next thing you know, I had a camel leash in my hand. I was about to get on the camel. They was like, "Whoa, chill, slow down, bro." I'm like, "Man, he just was retying my hair." Next thing you know, I was, on a camel. and he wanted $5.
That's it.
And he popped off about 17 pictures of the whole process in like 2 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah, man, it's an experience.
It is
Cairo's
deep.
the hustle, bro. But
So
it's exciting.
it's very exciting. It sounds like the Black journalists. We should go over there in October the next time with y'all, man.
Let's take a trip to Kemet. Yeah, man,
I'm game.
we go. We got one.
Right. So I wish that I was over there with you, and I saw the pictures, and it looked lovely over there. Even though it looked like it was a lot of sand, but it looked lovely
Hey, bro,
over
let me
there.
tell you something. Outside of the Nile, it is on the banks of the Nile, the East Bank and the West Bank. It's like the flats. The East Bank and the the West Bank and the East Bank of the Nile. It is the soil is beautiful. The growth, you see different birds and different animal species. and you see them living on lots of parts of the Nile like they did, back millennia ago. You see cats out there fishing, and but outside of the Nile is desert.
Right.
It's desert.
Desert.
The majority of Egypt is desert. I still got desert sand and temple dust on my Rockports.
All right, so
Man, my Rockports left out real fly out of Cleveland.
right.
I went to DSW, got the Rockports. Man, them Rockports, my Rockports look like Indiana Jones boots.
Hey, dang. So how? Okay, I'm a foodie. Everybody's a foodie. How was the food there?
Food is delicious, but see, remember rule number. Okay, I said rule number one.
Don't drink the water.
Okay, but I'm gonna change that. That's rule number 1B. Rule number 1A is do not get sick. So that's rule number 1. Do not get sick. So rule 1B is don't drink the water. But the food the food has so many different looks and flavors and spices. It's incredible. Now I didn't eat everything because you never know when they didn't try to slip you some camel meat or something like that. So I stayed with like my rice and my chicken that I knew what it was. But
What's safe?
it's what's safe. But they have lots of different things to eat. But I'm gonna tell you what, the juices, the juices, the juices are the truth, man. The papaya juices, the strawberry, the guava, that's the real deal. And it's like thick. Like they done, the old women be stomping on the grapes making the wine.
Yeah.
I think they back there putting their
They
feet in
stomping on
the
the papaya.
papayas, man. 'Cause,
You eat with your hands?
man, it's thick. It's you go to drink and you still be having like papaya pulp hanging from your mouth in the glass.
Do you eat with your hands over there?
Some people do, but I'm eating chicken and rice, so I was rocking with my fork. But depending on what you eat, they do have some things that you kind of just mash together and go hand to mouth. But yeah, it's the food the looks and smells of when you're in the marketplace is something that it was something foreign to me.
What did you have for breakfast?
Well, you know what? Let me tell you. See, this is another cool thing. Because they have their honey is special over there because they have those Egyptian bees.
Yeah.
So they're serving the honey. You see like the whole honeycomb. They done brought the whole honeycomb to the serving table.
And they just slopping it off.
And it's dripping. They have it in this type of container where you can see the honeycomb is strapped to this metal flat plate and it drips down and then the actual honey, man, it's delicious. And I was asking, I said, I need some of that honey because I came with Ziploc bags, right? So they was like, chill, where'd you get them Ziploc? I was like, CVS on Lee and Harvard. I brought these Ziploc bags with me. But I'm like, man, break off a piece of that honeycomb of the Egyptian honey, not just the honey, but in its natural form. And I brought some of that back with me. But for breakfast, they have, your regular breakfast items. They're over there making omelets and they have
I'm gonna say that right there. There's a difference between making an omelet here in Lee and Harvard, getting the stuff from David Save-A-Lot, and having fresh stuff.
Oh man, you know what? Because I see in Cairo, different parts of Cairo. Matter of fact, all over a lot of the rural Egypt, you see chickens just running around in the streets. And so I'm sure them chickens is laying eggs, and they got some fresh poultry, fresh
you
produce.
probably got an egg that was just fresh dropped and got
Bow, like they got it right out their bow. You dropped it, bam, crack, scramble it up, boom, omelet. Yeah, so and the things they put in the omelet. So yeah, but you see some things out there laid out for breakfast that I didn't even know what they were. So I didn't even really mess
Right,
with it.
you ain't mess with it.
You didn't ask?
No question.
You ain't more than ass.
Hey, because if you ask them a
I
question,
don't know what it resembles. I'm not eating it.
because if you ask them a question, they might charge you $1.
$1 for the answer. $1.
$1.
No, they don't tell you beforehand. They tell you afterwards.
Afterward.
They'll give you the information. They'll be like, $1, my brother. Like I provided that service. But yeah, it was a lot of things that they had that I didn't know what they were. And I watched some other people eat it because also I have some allergies. They have peanut allergies, and you know, a lot of times they cook with peanuts
Peanut
and stuff
oil
like
or
that.
something like that,
So
yeah.
you know, I kind of had to keep it simple, but I balled out on the juices, and man, yeah. But and my boy Clarence, I talked to him today. He said, "Chill, did you bring back some spices? Did you bring back some recipes?" I'm like, you know, that was something nobody ever asked me. They was like, "Chill, bring me back something," but nobody said bring back some recipes.
I mean, the thing about it is that when you have the spices and stuff like that are totally different. You know, we know that, and it's fresher because
They not
they're
processed
not
like they
processed
do.
like they do here. So the spices, like you might get some salt, be like, you can get some salt here. Okay, this is some good salt. You know, I got it from maybe Family Dollar, whatever, on the cheap side.
They
Or
got
but they got the Egyptian spices. You're like, I ain't never put nothing else but this on my food ever. Like you put some Egyptian spices on some fried chicken.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
man.
it's
got
over.
They got the blue temple spice jumping off over there. But that remind me, my actual. Well, I said that my favorite place was Elephantine with the blackety black folks. But over there, they even had what they called a Nubian village where they had Nubian spices. And I'm sure I took a photo of it. So it was just a big, giant rack of jars of all kinds of things you can't even read or pronounce. And you know that they look, you know what it tastes
Yeah,
good when you put it in the
gosh.
food.
You can't.
Did you bring any back?
I did not. You know what?
Could you have brought some back?
Let me tell you something. You know, like I told my man Clarence, shout out to my man Clarence Merriweather, one of the dopest graphic designers in the city. But like I told him when I left, people were like, "Chill, bring me some sand, bring me some rocks from the pyramids, bring me some." You know, I mean, people wanted stuff like that. Bring me some, because they, you know, Egypt also has their own gold. They have, of course, it's the land of gold.
Right.
That's why all those ancient Egyptian things were covered in gold. There's gold all over the place.
Yeah, they probably had gold toilet.
And so, you know, they like, can you bring back something gold? Can you bring back some sand? Can you bring back something in stone? All kinds of whatever artifacts. Could you know, but I didn't think to bring back
Spices.
But
You know what?
some of us did
Bring
go
back
to.
sand and all that?
Say it
Did you-
again?
Did you bring any of that back?
Yeah, I brought back rocks.
Oh,
You
okay.
know, like I'm by the pyramid. I'm by the Sphinx. I'm by the step pyramid.
I'll take a rock.
And it's rocks. And I pick up
Take
a
a
rock,
grand-
put it in my pocket.
A grain of sand.
Right.
Yeah, so you know, I brought people asked for rocks, and that's another thing, Larry. Man, I must have saw maybe easily 75 people fall and bust their heads, because when you walking by those pyramids, those old structures, it's that ground that you're walking on. Not only may it be sacred ground, but it's the hardest stone known to man. It's granite. It's uneven. It'll drop off to a little ledge. It got big, giant East Cleveland potholes in it.
Dang. We go. You know what? On that note, shout out to Delvis Valentine of the Sports Show. He's watching. We're gonna take a break. A tribute to Jay Dilla. When we come back, we're gonna talk to the old school hip hop artists about this certain hip hop artist with the initials YE. When we come back on the headline eye on Nerve DJs on WNRV1081.com. When we get on your nerves, we'll be right back.
Get on them nerves.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna tell you, Larry.